Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in today. Today, I want to talk a little bit about this photograph, you know, here-ish. This is, I'm sure, what a lot of you are familiar with. This is the Mezco Conan. This is actually the second version they did. I didn't get the original version. I made the mistake of not getting it. I remember still though, well, when the figure went up for pre-order, I just remember thinking, man, and get it. I granted, I get it was being based off of a Frazetta version, but like at the time, I remember thinking, I don't know that I love the way that looks. And then of course the thing came out and it was just phenomenal. I still think to this day, it's Mezco's best looking figure. I know for me, of everything I have in my collection, taking the bias of the characters themselves out of the situation, just based on the aesthetics alone, hands down for me, that's still the nicest looking figure that Mezco's done. So for this scene, actually, what was my motivation behind this one was based off of Mezco does these, I don't know what you call them, giveaways, I guess you call them, called Mezco Mondays, where you have to use that hashtag Mezco Mondays, and you have to put a mezit, or I guess they're actually called a grub. I don't know what they're called. Anyways, you have to put one of those in your photograph, and then of course tag them in it as well. And then they select a random winner, and they give them a free figure. And I haven't done that in a long time, so I was like, yeah, what the hell, I'm gonna do one. So I don't like to make it super obvious when I do those where the character is. So my original thought process was, well, okay, so I back that up. Obviously, I had to figure out what character I wanted to shoot, and a lot of times when I don't have a specific thing in mind, I will just look at my figures and what is kind of calling to me. Now, it's not usually difficult. There's usually only one or two that I'm really feeling or at the moment wanting to shoot. And so Conan for me was, and I'd actually originally wanted to do because I have the King Conan as well. That's the newer Conan, to do that one. And so I started playing with an idea. Oh, wait, hold on, let me back that up. I had another piece of the equation too. So my wife got these really cool Halloween decorations recently, which I should probably show. And so this is these, they hang up. They've got these little things here, so you can hang them, put something in them. And I mean, the thing is really cool looking. It's really detailed, and they're, I don't know, ceramic or something. They feel like they're probably breakable. And to be completely honest, I'm not really even sure where she got them. I'd have to ask. I never did ask her where she got them. She got two of them, and so I saw them, and I was like, man, I want to implement that into a photograph somehow. And so, yeah, that was the other thing. I wanted to use that. I wanted to incorporate the mezit, and I was feeling Conan. I thought, hey, that seems perfect, Conan. Surely I can come up with some kind of a scene for Conan. So I thought, okay, I'll just put the mezit like he's, burning on a fire or something. That'll be easy enough to incorporate it in there, and it won't, be super obvious and stand out. And then so kind of the idea that I had thought of was, well, first I wanted to see if you could see a light inside of the skull, which you could. I put one of my small Lume Cube 2.0s. They're just little square looking lights. Put that down in there with gels on them so that it would make it orange, and sure enough, it showed through really good. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I kind of started playing around with different ideas, and I thought, well, this thing kind of looks like a big pot or something. I'm like, what if I had just had some kind of character look like he's, stirring a pot or something? And so that's the idea I came up with. And so I put a little fake hand in there, and character looked like he's stirring. And the other character was just one of the Mezco Gold Skull Ninjas that I put a regular skull head on, which was pink, and then I changed that in Photoshop just to take the color out of it, or actually Lightroom. And then for whatever reason, I kind of had in my head it would be a cool scene to have some sort of a cave or something looking scene. And then my thought was kind of Conan is just, cautiously kind of creeping up on the scene, ready to engage. And so I did what I've been doing lately. Instead of trying to find some kind of a cave scene, I wanted to see what I could get this Microsoft Copilot to produce. So all I did was I went in there and I typed something like creepy cave or spooky cave or whatever it was, and it produced 4 images for me. And honestly, all 4 of the images were really cool. They all gave me this look like you were inside a cave looking out of the cave, and then there was some sort of a light source coming in, which actually they're really cool looking photographs. I'll have to throw them up there so you guys can see them. And I was using the one that I liked the best, and I don't know, it wasn't working for me. It just didn't, I don't know. I didn't like the look of it. So I went back into the AI program, and I think that's when I entered the words creepy or scary or whatever cave, and it produced the one that I currently use. I was like, yeah, that looks much better. It just seemed to fit the scene better. And so I threw that up there and put a few other little things in the scene, lots of fake dirt on the ground to give it that nice realistic textured look. And then, like I said, I was originally trying to use the King Conan, but the issue I had was, you know, he's got that chainmail in the back, and it's just one long piece all the way across the back. And so it really was hiding a lot of the articulation in the legs. It wasn't giving it that kind of look that I wanted. So I ended up switching to the other one and basically doing the same pose that I had in the King Conan in, but it just looked much better because you could see his legs. It kind of looked like he was creeping up on the scene. So that's why I inevitably ended up going with that one. So for this one, I also use the probe lens. You know, sometimes I experiment. Sometimes I'll put both lenses on my camera and look to see what I like. But I love that Conan that I did with the dragon in the background. I love that kind of look, and that was one I used the probe lens and I got low down on. And so I don't know, I knew already that that's kind of the look that I wanted. So I didn't even bother putting my 85 on. I just put the probe lens on. That gave me the look that I got. And I will also say this, I know that my behind the scenes make it look like it's a quick, smooth process, but it's not at all. I go through a lot of stumbling. I actually started this photograph on Saturday, worked on it throughout the evening, I think it was. I probably spent a good couple hours at least trying to set it up. Like I said, I switched the background around. But one thing for me that I don't ever do is I don't ever settle. I have to take photographs. I'll put them on my computer just so I can look at them larger, just to see. It's a lot easier to see. Plus, when my camera's down on low angles, it's really hard to get down that low on the ground and really get a good view of what I'm doing through the camera. So I like to put them on my computer just to kind of get a look at a bigger picture. You know, usually when I first put it on there, I can look at it right away and say, ugh, no, this is no good, or okay, this isn't bad. I can build on this, and then I just you know, keep building from there, tweaking a little bit at a time, whether it be lighting or props, or I get very particular with stuff. In this one, you'll see there's a little skull over in the corner, like somewhere around here. I'm telling you, I must have moved that damn thing 100 times over and over and over again. I was never happy with the placement of it. And honestly, I still wasn't 100% happy with it. I was at a point where I was like, okay, I can live with that. But anyways, I don't like to settle on photographs. There's times when I actually don't post stuff at all. I just can't. Sometimes, you know, at some point you have to know when it's time to scrap it and move on. Or there's other times where I know, hey, this is not bad. I can definitely work on this and build on it. And so yeah, it's for me, it's about putting in that time. I mean, maybe some people don't want to spend that amount of time. Maybe they don't have that amount of time. You know, for me, I shoot all my stuff on the weekends when I have time. Traditionally, I do all my stuff on a Sunday. Depending on, you know, if I have time on a Saturday, I don't mind starting it. And then depending on how well things are flowing, sometimes I'll get one photograph on a weekend, sometimes I'll get a couple. But yeah, like I said, I know my behind the scenes are kind of deceiving and make it look like it's all smooth, but it's anything but that. And I've mentioned this to people before and in interviews and in comments and stuff. The reason my behind the scenes look so smooth is because what I'm actually doing, it's not any big secret or anything, is after I'm completely done photographing the scene and I'm happy, I know I'm not going to change anything else, then I'll set my camera up for video, record it, and I'll actually record myself taking everything down. I try to be mindful of the order I'm doing things so it makes sense. And then I just go back in post-production, reverse the footage, speed it up a little bit. If I sat there and had a camera or my phone or something recording, I'd have 2 hours of footage to go through, and that wouldn't make any sense. And this way, at least it gives, you know, people an idea of where my lighting is and stuff like that. What props I'm using. And so I think it works for what it is. And I just want to take a quick second, guys. If you haven't subscribed already, I would greatly appreciate a subscribe and a like on the video, thumbs up. And as always, any questions or comments, feel free to leave them for me and I will get back to you. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to the behind the scenes.